Hi everyone. Okay guys, welcome. If you can see me live, yes guys, we are live on Facebook and even YouTube. So if you can see, you can hear me live, loud and clear guys, just type a 1 in the chat. All right, depends on where you're logging on the phone, on your computer. Type a 1 in chat if you can see and you can hear me. And welcome to this Facebook live session called Ask Me Any Stocks. Type a 1 in the chat so that I know that this is working, because in the previous live session I think it kind of like broke down and we got disconnected. So just want to make sure that it is working live. Okay, good. I think I see a few of you coming out loud and clear. Thank you, Yong Ho. Hi, Michael. 1, Alice. 1, Lynette. 1, Pauline. 1. Awesome. So thank you so much for being here, guys. So there are a couple of things we'll cover by the end of this session. But before I go into that, I'd like to take this opportunity for those of you who are live with me now. You're early, great. I'll do everything in my power to make sure that this session is well worth your time. Hi, David. Hi, Eunice. 1. Hi, Flora. Good to see you guys here. Awesome. So welcome to this Facebook live session called Ask Me Any Stocks. If you have not met me before, my name is Joey Choy, top tier in 𝐒𝐈𝐵 trader in Phillips Securities, and I do conduct tradings as well to teach people how to profit in the stock market, right? But for this very session, we'll not be talking about the strategy and all that stuff, but we'll be pretty much diving into the stocks, right? The stocks, the Singapore market stocks that all of you want a quick opinion on, all right? And we do a quick market outlook, maybe look at the STI, maybe even the US market, share with you guys what has happened over the past, few weeks to a month. And then we will do a live poll, all right? I'll do a live poll on the stocks that you guys want. Of course, I'll dive into the stocks that a lot of people are asking about, all right? We used to have the banks, which are quite popular. Let's see what comes up today, but this is pretty much a live poll, all right? And that's where you can take part in the poll. Let me know what stocks you're keen in. We'll do a live poll if there are a lot of people asking about it, and that's where I will pretty much cover that stock. I'll analyze it live. We will even dive into the system that I have to see what it says if you have time. All right, and make sure you stay all the way to the end. All right, you stay all the way to the end. That's where I will share with you after covering your stocks. Right, so at the end I will share with you one. All right, just one Singapore stock that I like, that perhaps you can also put in your watch list. Of course, why I like it, the reasons, some of the key entry levels, some of the potential targets that you can watch. That will be covered in the end, at the end of the session, right? So make sure you stay all the way to the end, right? So for those of you who are just joining us, welcome. Type a yes in the chat if you're keen to get started right now. Type a yes in the chat so that I can acknowledge all of you for being here. And would it be okay, guys, you can help me to like and share, right? Hit the like and share button right now. All right, hit the like and share button. And if you want, you can hit the share button so that you can reach out to more people. All right, hit the share button. And if you share this video as well, essentially what happens is that it will be on your profile, so you can easily refer back to this video. So click on the share button so you can reach out. Thank you so much. I see a lot of hearts over here on my phone. Yes, yes, yes. Awesome. Thank you so much. So hit the like and share button, guys. And let's go ahead to begin, right? So let's get started right now. So how many of you want me to do a quick like market outlook on maybe the STI, right? Just type STI in the chat if you want me to do a quick, outlook on the market, right? Very quickly, in terms of the technical levels, just type STI in the chat right now. For those of you who are just joining us, welcome to this Facebook live session called Ask Me Any Stock. And if you have not met me before, my name is Joey Choy, all right? And pretty much we are covering the Singapore market stocks today. We do a live poll in a bit. And right now we just do a quick market outlook, right? So type STI if you want me to cover the STI very quickly. Okay, good, Karen. We have STI, Thomas, STI, Lynette, Dave, STI, Cole, STI. Awesome. Good to see you guys here. All right. We have quite a few familiar faces. Some of you might be just scrolling through Facebook or YouTube and joining us. Great. I'll make sure I will add value to you guys as well. All right. So let's talk about the STI right now, right? Right now, before we look at the Singapore stocks that you guys want a quick opinion on. But essentially right now, this is the STI, right? Today we closed at about 3,151, right? 3,151. So I would say that for the STI, I mean, compared to the US market, for the US market, essentially, we have seen quite a firm move up, right, over the past 2 to 3 months. Okay, why not let me just go ahead to talk about the S&P 500 first, right, before we talk about the STI. So at least you can see the difference, right? But this is the S&P 500 index, right? Pretty much the index that comprises of the top 500 companies in the US by market cap. All right, and yeah, this is the S&P 500. You can see that for the S&P 500, just last year with your talks about rate hikes, inflationary pressures, we have been pretty much forming lower highs, a bit of a downtrend. We went down, we formed lower highs and just pushed lower and lower. And somewhere around the beginning of the year, in fact, just last year, November, I talked about the market bottoming out, and it seems like it has already bottomed out. All right, and we are pretty much on our way back up. The reversal, in case you're still not aware, guys, the reversal has already started. It's not just like yesterday or last week. In fact, just like 3 or 4 months back, the reversal has already started, and it is pretty much still ongoing. So that is for the US market, the S&P 500 index. You can see that in terms of the moving averages, right? We have started to turn up in terms of the 100 days moving average, crossing back above the blue line, the 200 days moving average. So right above the blue, it just shows that the mid to long-term trend, as I say, in February, March, has already started to turn into an uptrend. All right, and key here is this, right? We broke this very key resistance level, right? At about the 4,200 level, somewhere around like early of June, end of May, right over here. And that is where it is a very, very good confirmation, all right, not just of the trend turning up, but of the uptrend actually playing out right now. So in case you don't know, for the S&P 500, we have already turned into what we call an uptrend, all right? Why do I say that? Well, because you see, since last year, we have been forming lower highs, but somewhere around like December last year or beginning of the year, we have formed what we call higher lows. So let me just zoom in for you. You can see that these higher lows, we have traded higher, attempting to find a new high. We broke a very key resistance right here at 4,200. And now we have even pushed higher over the past 2 to 3 weeks, and we have formed a new high, all right? Not really a new high like back to previous high. I mean, okay, the previous high would be somewhere around the 4,800 level for the S&P 500 index, but you can see that we are slowly making our way back up right now, right? So that is pretty much for the S&P 500 index, right? Right now, support is about not really 4,002, but it seems like it's gone even higher at about a 4,300 level. And you can see that in terms of the short-term trend, right? We look at this green line. This green line is what we call the 20 days moving average, which is pretty much pointing up right now. In terms of the index prices, it's above it. So short-term trend is looking good, right, for the entire US market. Of course, along the way, we might see some profit taking. It might pull back a little bit. But as it pulls back, where would the support be? Is it like going back down to like the previous support? Does it like go back down to the previous support at 4,002 or maybe even break 4,002 and hit lower, right? If that doesn't happen, right, if it stays above the immediate support, like right now, the 4,300, not even 4,002, but 4,003, right, which was pretty much the resistance in August last year, right? We broke this level. So if we stay above 4,003, I think the uptrend is pretty much intact for the US market. I mean, just looking at the S&P 500 index. So yeah, I mean, I think all of you would know in terms of the news of the Federal Reserve finally pausing rate just last month in June after hiking rates for 10 consecutive times. Finally, they have decided to pause rates just to assess how things are going, to see if inflation is slowly cooling off and give it a bit more time to work, right, in terms of the rate hikes. So they have paused rates finally after 10 times, but of course the Fed has came out and say that, potentially there might be 1 or 2 more rate hikes, maybe next month, maybe in November, one more. And that is why the market saw a little bit of weakness, right? But I think overall, in terms of like the selling that's happened last year, the tech sector sold off, people are more or less used to this whole rate hike news. I mean, it's like even if you hike 1 or 2 more, we have already hiked by 10 times, right? What is 1 or 2 more? So eventually, this whole rate hike, you can't just keep on hiking forever, right? The economy will just turn into a recession and all that. The Fed want to be careful as well. The main reason for hiking rates essentially is to bring down inflation, and eventually it will come down, and it is pretty much done. And that is where there might be talks about rate cuts, right, going forward as well, maybe into next year as well. And that's where the market will turn pretty bullish quite fast. So just take note of the key levels for the US market. That's for the S&P 500 index, right? It's pretty much, I mean, it's sort of heavily now. It is pretty much making its way back up. It is a reversal. So we have a lot of you joining us right now. I think we have more than 150 of you. Oh, welcome, guys. Just type a 2 in the chat, guys. If you're still following me right now, before we talk about the STI, right? Type a 2 in the chat. I hope that you guys just get a quick understanding of where we are for the US market before we talk about the STI. And with that, now we can kind of see the difference, right? It's like the Singapore market a little bit different from the US. As I say, for the US, if you're thinking that it will go back down to the previous low like we've seen last year, like the 3,008 or even the 3,500, I would say quite unlikely for now, because as I say, all these bad news has more or less passed. We are more or less out of the woods, all right? It has already started its reversal, all right? Not just last week or last month, since the beginning of the year, in case you are, still lost or still thinking that it's, it's going down and down. No, all right? We have already started the reversal. It is ongoing. Anything above 4,003 right now, the uptrend looks intact for the US market, right? Just to be clear, all right? Let's talk about the STI right now, right? So thank you so much, guys. I see a lot of you coming aboard. We have Cheryl. Hi, Hui Long, Thomas, Patrick, number 2. Hi, Junice, Mike, Dave, Chiwai. All right, awesome. Thank you so much, guys. For those of you who are just joining us, welcome to this Facebook Live called Ask Me Any Stocks. Pretty much just covered the S&P 500 index, and we are going to talk about the Straits Times Index to see where we are right now, and pretty much what can happen, all right, for the second half of the year, right? So this is the STI, Singapore's Straits Times Index. So you can see it looks a little bit different, right, compared to the US S&P 500 index. Well, firstly, you can see that in 2022, right, when the tech sector sold off, the S&P 500 index sold off by more than 30%. But for the Singapore market, yeah, we did sell off as well, but we found a pretty good support somewhere around that 3,000 to 3,050. Look at this. We have touched a couple of times since 2 years back, and we saw a couple of rebounds over here. So anything near that 3,050, 3,000, these are all what we call very, very good bargain hunting zones, especially if you're trading the markets or maybe the big caps like the banks and all that, which kind of like follows the index, right? So these are what we call pretty good bargain hunting zones, or good support zones, whereby we have seen, in fact, a couple of rebounds over the past 2 years. So right now it's about 3,151, and yeah, we are indeed seeing a bit of short-term weakness. You can see that the past 1 week we have headed towards that, around that 3,300 level, right? 3,300 level. This is the resistance level right here. You can see it's pretty much the resistance level, about 3,300 level, 3,300 level, and we have seen selling again. And right now we are making our way back down to this support at about 3,150. So it seems like we're attempting to break this support. So just be a bit careful. I think that in the short term, there are some signs of the trend turning down, right? Maybe below 3,150, we might see a little bit of a pullback all the way to wouldn't think it would just like, go all the way down, and break all support, because as I say, this support has been holding for 2 years, right? The 3,000 to 3,050. So we might see a bit of weakness in the short term below 3,150. All right, as I say, we have kind of broken today. We closed at let me see, we closed at about 3,150. So it's just right there. But if I'm saying if, I'm not saying they will break tomorrow, but if we do go below the 3,150 tomorrow, we go to like 3,140, 3,130, and we stay below it, of course, then not so good. Potentially, this is what might happen. We might see a bit of weakness right here. Like we can see when we broke this support, we sold off, right? And then same thing, we broke, we went off. So right now, same thing, when we break this support, we might see a bit of weakness towards this zone, and we might start to consolidate again, right? So just think a little bit of weakness can happen, especially if we were to go below that 3,150 immediate support, which we are just attempting to stay above right now. Does it make sense? All right, so that is for the STI, right? But any short-term weakness, for those of you, especially if you're trading the STI ETF, which tracks this index, it could be an opportunity as well, as I mentioned, right? In the longer term support from 3,000 to 3,050 right over here, pretty much where we have seen a lot of rebounds since 2 years back. All right, so this is the STI. All right, it looks a little bit different from the S&P 500 index. We have been pretty much in a sideways consolidation since like 2021. We did not really sell down that much last year. We saw a couple of rebounds, but each time we rebound, we are back to this like resistance at about 3,003, 3,450 as well right here, and that's where selling have came back. All right, so I think we are pretty much a bit of a sideways move for the STI. It's not really like a reversal like we've seen for the S&P 500 index, because we did not really sell down that much in the first place to reverse back up. Does it make sense? All right, so it's just like moving sideways, and now we could potentially be heading towards our longer term support. All right, so that is the STI, Straits Times Index. Right, so right now, guys, we're going to do a poll, all right, of the Singapore stocks that you guys want a quick opinion on. So very quickly, guys, type SG in the chat if you want to go on to the next segment, whereby I will be covering, right, pretty much the stocks. As I say, we have done a quick market outlook. I shared with you guys the factors affecting the market. We look at the STI, even the S&P 500 index, and right now we will go to the second part, which is let me know what stocks, Singapore stock, the Singapore market, right? What Singapore stocks that you want me to analyze? Try not to type it in chat, because if you type in the chat, it will be lost. All right, we'll be doing a live poll in a bit. All right, but I want you guys to share with me maybe top 3 Singapore stocks that you want. All right, I've turned on. Let me just share with you guys the link whereby you can type the stocks in. All right, so let me see. Pauline, SG, Pauline, hi, Junish, SG. All right, so I see a lot of you typing like Venture, AEM, Salvador. Not to worry, guys, don't type it in the chat, because if you type it in the chat, we can't really do the live poll. So let me share with you the link right now to participate in the live poll. Right here, let me just paste the link in the chat. And that is pretty much the link. All right, let me know, guys, if this is working. All right, and okay, let me just wait to drag this right here. All right, so I think it is working, because we are seeing the results live right now. All right, for those of you who are just joining us, welcome. All right, welcome to this Facebook live show. So I pretty much covered the markets right now, and let me know what are 3 Singapore stocks. So guys, just type 3 stocks that you want covered. 1 stock, 1 line, and you submit it, right? Don't type like together, all right? So that we can do a live poll. 1 stock, 1 line. I've placed the link in the chat. Type it in the poll so that we can do a poll right now. All right, so ask your stocks at www.slido.com. The code is AMAS17, or I've just placed the link in the chat. Click on it. Let me know, like what you see over here, 3, all right, 3 Singapore stocks that you want a quick opinion on. 1 stock, 1 line, submit it. So we have like more than about 30 of you coming on board right now, right? So just give you guys a few minutes more. All right, let me know, guys. We will do a poll right now. So I think you guys can see, all right, this should be working, guys. So I think all of you guys can see the poll as well on my screen. And if you see any stocks that you like what people are typing, go ahead to type it as well. All right, and that is where we're trying to cover the stocks, right? The one that's most popular, right? So I see a lot of names coming out. We have like Samudra Shipping. It seems pretty popular. We have Sembcorp Industry. All right, keep it coming, guys. Just a few more minutes, right? I'll try to pick the top like 5 stocks. All right, and make sure you stay all the way to the end, guys, because right now we are going through the stocks that you like, right? And essentially, after going through the stocks that you like, I will share with you one, all right, just one stock that I like that you might want to put in your watch list for potentially more upside, right? So we have like Julie High. You're talking about OCBC, CSE Global, SETS, UOB. Go ahead, guys. Yeah, Julie and Pauline, to type it in the link. All right, type it in the live poll, like what you see on my screen right now. I've placed the link. I tell you what, why not just let me place the same link, all right, in the chat again right now. I've placed the link in the chat, all right, to take part in the live poll. Click on the link. You'll be led to a page and just type your Singapore stocks that you want a quick opinion on. One stock, one line, total 3 stocks, submit. That's it, right? Okay, so we have more than 50 of you taking part in the poll, guys. Let's see what are the popular stocks. It seems like we have 𝐶𝐵 coming up as well. All right, and help me to like and share, guys. All right, help me to like and share this video. If you're still here, we have like more than 200 of you on board. So yes, guys, this is live, by the way, right? So hit the like and share button so you can reach out to more people. More people can take part in the poll, and hopefully they cover the stocks that you, like as well. All right, and we try to cover them. All right. Okay, so a few more minutes, guys. Thank you guys for hit me the like and the share. I see a lot of hearts. All right, awesome. Thank you so much. All right, yeah, hit the like and share button, guys. That would be really helpful. All right, and yeah, I've placed the link in the chat. Click on it, take part in the poll. Okay, good. Just 30 more seconds. 30 more seconds, guys. Let me know what are the stocks that you want. Very quickly, I think we have a few familiar names like the banks, the OCBC. We have a SIA as well. Let's see. All right, Rex International. All right. Okay, 10 more seconds. 10 more seconds, guys. 10 more seconds. All right. All right, Samudra Shipping, Wilmar, Sembcorp. As I say, guys, Chong, 𝐸𝐤, yeah, go ahead, Raymond, to type it in the link as well so we can do a poll right now, because if you type in the chat, unfortunately, it would not be able to take part in the poll. All right, so yeah, I know Raffles Medical as well. Let's see if that's popular, but type it in the link. The link is in the chat to take part in the live poll. All right, so 10 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let me just go ahead to look at the poll right now and see what are the popular stocks. So I think number 1, we have like a Samudra. Right, Samudra Shipping. We have Wilmar as well. Wow, Wilmar is pretty popular. We have what we call Rex. Wow, Rex. Right, one of those really good stocks, but it seems a little bit weaker. Let's take a look at like DBS, right? DBS, we have 𝐶𝐵, right? 𝐶𝐵 seems really popular as well. Let me see. We have Sembcorp Industry. All right, a lot of you asking about Sembcorp Industry as well. We have let's see, SIA. All right, SIA, and let's see, last one, UOB. All right, that's it, guys. I have picked out. Okay, let me just pause the poll right now. And shift this back up. Okay, so for those of you who have just joined us, guys, we have done a live poll. All right, pretty much a live poll of the top Singapore stocks that you guys want, right? So this is live, guys. I have no idea what stocks you guys are choosing, right? And we have like more than 50 of you taking part in the poll, right? More than 200 of you right here, right now. So let me share with you the stocks that all of you guys are asking in terms of like the first and second and third, right? So the first one would be Samudra Shipping. Number 2, Wilmar. Number 3, Rex International. Number 4, DBS. Number 5, 𝐶𝐵. Number 6, Sembcorp Industry. Number 7 will be SIA, Singapore Airlines, really popular one. And we have number 8, UOB. All right, are these what you guys are, I think these are probably what you guys are asking. Type yes in the chat, guys, if any of those stocks are what you are actually looking at. Type yes in the chat if hopefully, all right, hopefully, you know, I've at least covered one of your stocks. Type yes in the chat if that is, you know, one of those stocks at least, right? Hopefully, at least there's one that you picked, right? Yes, yes, yes. Awesome. Right. Okay, good. At least, I mean, if not like all, at least one, you know, I mean, you type 3 stocks. If one of them you pick, that's like good, lucky, very lucky already, right? Okay, Cheryl, yes. Flora, yes. Irene, Karen, yes. David, yes, yes, yes. Okay, good. I'm glad that at least, you know, some of those stocks I picked are what you are actually asking on, right? So let's go ahead to look at the first stock. So we have covered very quickly, guys, the S&P 500 index. In case you miss any parts, you can go to look at the replay. The replay will be on my Facebook page, all right? Like where you are right now watching this live stream, on my YouTube live as well. Just type Joey Choy, Google it, all right? And you will be able to watch the replay on my Facebook page as well, all right? So let's dive into the first one, right here, which is called Samudera Shipping, right? Samudera Shipping right here. And let's take a look. So I want to, you know, this session is for me to like, you know, give you a quick opinion on the stocks, right? Pretty much just telling you what is it, what are the key levels, is the trend up and down and all that. But at the same time, I don't want to just like, you know, share with you a quick opinion and you not learning anything, all right? So I'll do my best just to share with you a little bit of the tips here and there, just to guide you on what to actually look out for. So, you know, in any case, in the future, that's where you can pull out the chart, do a little bit of your own analysis, and pretty much learn something rather than just, you know, being told like what to do. All right, does it make sense? Right. So this is Samudera Shipping right here. What do you guys, very quickly before I do a quick analysis, Samudera Shipping, what do you guys think about the trend, right, in terms of the longer term trend? Let me know. What do you guys think about the longer term trend? Up or down? Right? What is the longer term trend like for this stock right here called Samudera Shipping? Let me know, guys. What is your thoughts on this company called Samudera Shipping? Okay, good. So up. I think something that says uptrend, Lynette, up, sideways, down, up, some up, some say consolidation, Thomas, awesome. Okay, very good. A bit of sideways. All right, thanks for participating, guys. All right, so I will put your comments over here so that everybody can see your comments. All right, and keep it coming. All right, we have like Pauline up, consolidation. Okay, very good. So let me just go into quickly explain on Samudera Shipping. All right, so I would say that for Samudera Shipping, I think they kind of give out a dividend, quite a good dividend amount, and that's the reason why it dropped. It tanked quite heavily somewhere around April. All right, I'm not too sure what's the dividend amount. This is quite a decent amount, and we saw some weakness on the ex-dividend date, whereby the share price actually adjusted downwards. All right, and let's take a look at the longer term trend. So very quickly, in the longer term trend, you can see that since like, you know, we don't go like too far. I mean, like, but since like 1-2 years ago, we have pretty much seen, you know, Samudera Shipping pushing higher. All right, we have formed what we call higher lows. Look at this right here. So we have formed higher lows, and higher lows along the way, I would say, since about 2 years back. So in terms of the longer term trend, it still looks okay. I mean, we have not really turned into like a downward trend at all. I mean, it's just, you know, a longer term uptrend. It's still okay, and we are holding above some of the key support levels. And also, just by looking at the moving averages, the longer term moving average, like the 100 days moving average, the red line, all right, and the blue line, you can see that since like 2 years back, the red and blue line have been pretty much pointing up. In fact, I think somewhere around here in January, the beginning of the year, the red line actually sloped downwards a little bit. It went really near to the blue line, started to point up as well. All right, and right now, this is where we are. You can see that the red line, all right, is still above the blue line. So longer term trend, it still looks okay. I mean, unless the red line would like cross down, like for example, if we do break a support, later I'll talk about the support, but let's say if we do, you know, see this red line starting to, you know, point down gradually, and it starts to point down, yes, then you might, I'm not saying that this will happen, guys, but look at this 100 days moving average, which what I've like projected right here. Let's assume if the red line, the 100 days moving average, starts to point down and we break a support like the 85 cent support, yes, you want to be careful, right? You want to be careful because that's where the trend could potentially turn down, right? Could potentially turn down, and the trend could turn in terms of the longer term, all right, from, you know, up over the past 2 years to potentially down, right? Especially if you see this 100 days moving average going down. But right now you can see that it is just a little bit sideways for now, or it's not really pointing down. So I would say in the longer term, it still looks quite okay. We are holding above a very key support level. So what would this key support level? Well, very clearly, this support will be right over here, 0.85, 85 cents. Over the past 2 months, so you can see that we have found a couple of rebounds from here. Right over here, I think went to like about 87, 86 and rebounded. It went to like 95. So let me just draw another resistance line right here, somewhere around like 95. All right, we have seen some selling. So that is the range. Look at this, right? So let me just put in black in color right here, right? That is the range as we trade up and down over the past 2 months. Swing up, down, swing up, down, swing up, down. Now we are down again, swing up, down. So that might just be the range from about 85 cents to 95 cents, right? As it consolidates. So what some of you are saying in terms of consolidation, yes, correct. We are in a little bit of consolidation in an uptrend above this 85 cents support level, right? So as long as this 85 cents level were to hold, I think it is still okay. And I said this 85 cents is very important. First of all, we have been holding above over the past 2 months. Well, and it also coincides with where, look at this, the 200 days moving average line is. Look at this. It's just right there, right? The 200 days moving average line is just right there, all right, at about the 0.85. So let me just put it back. And also you can see that this 85 cents level also was the resistance level. So it was a resistance last year, all right, whereby we actually attempted to, to break above. It didn't happen. It went down. So a resistance that we finally broke right over here at the beginning of the year. And of course, now we are back down again. All right. And yeah, so this resistance has turned into what we call a support. So you can see a lot of points or factors pointing towards 85 cents as a good support level. So I think anything above 85, that is a key level. So I think if you're looking to like buy on dips near 87, 86, you want to catch the rebound to like 90, 95, you can do it, but just have a plan. All right, have a plan, because as I mentioned, if the 85 were to break down, it goes to 84, 83, or below 85, basically, then not so good, right? The short term, we could see some selling momentum coming back fast. Does it make sense? All right. And looking at the 20 days away. So we talk about the longer term, as I say, it's just, still okay, all right? It's a bit of sideways. But what about the short-term trend? You can see that the short-term trend, we look at the 20 days moving average. So you can see that since like, May, April, this 20 days moving average, when we're like about $1, 110, it was like moving sideways. And then we point down, down, down. But somewhere around like end of May, you can see this green line, the 20 days moving average starts to, what? Is this 20 days moving average, the green line? Is the green line moving up or down? What do you guys think? Is the green line moving up or down? Let me know, guys, in the chat. What is the green line doing? Like, is it moving up or down? Or is it like sideways for now? All right, so sideways, I would say that is for the 20 days moving average. You can see, right? So it just shows that in the short term, we are in this, consolidation phase from 85 to 95 cents, right? So I want to see, hopefully, we consolidate and we break this very key level, like the 95 cents right over here. If we can break the 95 cents, even the $1 to give way, I think these are all very good signs of the reversal starting to happen all the way back up, to the 110, 120 level, right? That is what potentially can happen for Samudra shipping, if we break some of those very key levels, right? The 95 cents, the $1, these are all very key, what we call selling zones that we want to get above before buyers can start to push prices even higher. All right, so that would be for Samudra shipping. I hope I've given you guys a little bit of an understanding of what is happening for this stock. All right, so let's go on to stock number 2. All right, guys, type 2 in the chat if you want to go on to stock number 2. And that would be for Wilmar. All right. So for those of you who are just joining us right now, all right, and you've not met me before, my name is Joey Choy. Welcome to this Facebook live show. So pretty much we are covering the stocks that we have done the live poll on. We have covered the first stock, which is Samudra Shipping. We'll go to stock number 2, which is Wilmar. All right, pretty popular stocks. All right, one of those stocks that I get asked quite often as well. All right, and here we are right now for Wilmar. All right, trading at about $3.62. All right, Cheryl 2, Johnny 2, Awesome. All right. Okay, let's go on. Right. So this is Wilmar. All right. And I would say that for Wilmar, we have broken a very key support over the past 2 to 3 weeks, right? And what would that level be? Well, this level would none other be that $3.85. So you can see 385 was a little bit of a resistance. We rebounded, but just last week, unfortunately, we broke the $3.85 support level that we have been holding above since last year, October. Does it make sense? All right. So not a good thing, right? So whenever you see like a support level. So what is a support level for those of you who are new to all this? Basically, a support level is a price level whereby many times, it could be 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 10 times. The more times, the better. All right. It just shows that level is key. The more meaningful, we give, the more meaningful actions, or we give a bit more weight to that price level whereby many times it touches it and it rebounds it. That is what we call a support level. So in this case, it touched about 3-4 times. We rebounded from it over the past 6 months. But just about last week, we broke the 385 level. And you can see when it broke the 385 level, all the moving averages were pointing down, especially the green line. Look at the green line, the 20 days moving average. Is it pointing down right now? What do you guys think? The green line, the 20 days moving average. Is it pointing down? Yes, right. I mean, it's pointing down right now. Prices below it. So, and when it broke the 385, the green line is pointing down, kind of like 2 factors pointing towards weakness. All right. So not so good. And that's where we are potentially seeing some selling all the way to the next support, right? And what would be the next support? Well, I think that would be the $3.50, right? Excuse me, right away, 350, right? You can see 350 was also a little bit of a resistance somewhere in 2020. And we are heading back down to 350. No, now it's about 362. So just take note of this zone right over here, right? So I think for those of you who are looking to buy Wilmar, to get in Wilmar, normally we try not to buy or get it on counters which are in what we call a downtrend, right? So for Wilmar, you can see that the trend has not really turned up yet because, of course, it has broken this 385 support that I talked about, but what we want to look for in terms of, buying companies, buying stocks. In fact, hopefully later we'll cover some of those stocks that you guys are asking about. And in fact, I think some of them are pretty good. Some of them are pretty much in an uptrend whereby you want to focus on, right? But for stocks that are in a downtrend, they're heading lower, they consolidate, they break a support, and they go down lower, and you buy, and it breaks, it goes down lower. That's where you can get stuck. All right. So you try not to focus on stocks which are moving down or are weaker. All right. And how do we even tell this in the downtrend? Well, we can look at the moving averages in terms of all the moving averages pointing down, the 100 days, the 200 days all pointing down, prices below it. Or we can simply look at the highs. All right. Look at this, right? So these are the highs since last year, 2021, the highs, right? The highs, right? So these were the high, about $4.30 was a pretty strong resistance. And we found another lower high. And now it seems like we have found another lower high, depending on where it consolidates. So we have found lower highs over the past 1 year. Not a good thing. It just shows that the trend is pretty much down, and you want to be careful if you're thinking to buy companies like this. If it breaks the support, you want to have a plan to just reduce some exposure or get out because it might just hit lower. All right, so we want to only think about getting on companies or stocks which are strong, which are in an uptrend, or at least showing some signs of a reversal, right, from down to up. Does it make sense? All right, rather than just going down and down and down, and then you buy and buy and buy, and it goes down and buy, and good luck to you. All right, does it make sense? All right, so that is just a little bit of the mindset, a little bit of psychology as well. I hope that you guys can take away something. Right, so this is Wilmar. Take note, 350 would be the support. Hopefully, we see some bargain hunting that right there. But if the 350 would not hold as well, just be careful. As I say, we might push down towards the next phase lower. It might be towards the $3 to $2.80, pretty much where we were in 2020. Look at this right over here. I'm not saying that you will hit there, all right? But essentially, that is the next support level, right, after 350. Just by looking at the past prices, that's where we rebounded. So if that 350 were to break, we might potentially hit towards the $2.80 to $3. That's where some selling can come. That's where some bargain hunting can come back again, right, at the next support. All right, so that is for Wilmar. So let's move on to the next one, all right, which will be Rex �REX International. Well, okay, I think we have covered these stocks. I think I've done some analysis, right? So this is �REX International. Okay, very quickly, guys. What do you guys think about? I mean, based on what I've shared in terms of like trend and all that, what do you guys think about �REX International? Is it an uptrend or a bit of a downtrend? Let me know, guys. Just type it in the chat. What is your thoughts on this company, especially for those of you who are asking about it? What is your thoughts on �REX International? Is it up or down? Very, very quickly. I mean, just by looking at it, right? You don't need to be like a rocket scientist or what to look at it, right? Just 5 seconds, you will know it. All right, let's see, right? Still down. Thomas down. Hui Lao down. Bernard down. Wow, it seems like all of you are all experts, huh? Yen down. Awesome. Okay, very good. So I think all of you know it's down. All right, as I mentioned just now, I mentioned a little bit on like why we want to avoid companies which are in a downtrend. I'm not too sure whether any of you guys have held on to a stock. You bought a stock thinking it will go up, hoping that it will rebound back to your price that you bought, and it just went down and down and down, and you hold on to it, you think about it, you hope about it, and then it just went all the way down, right? So try not to, in fact, not try, but basically avoid stocks which are in a downtrend because they can just go lower and lower, right? In the stock market, just to share with you guys, cheap can become what? Let me know, guys, in chat, right? Cheap can become, especially if you have faced situations like this, right? It just goes down and down. Cheap can become what? Type it in the chat if you know the answer, all right? And especially if it has happened to you. Cheap can become even yeah, correct. Cheapo become dust, Bernard. Well, I mean, yeah, sometimes it does become dust. It means it can just go done. I mean, there's a reason why a stock is going down, right? There's a reason. It could be not strong fundamentally. It could be some bad news, in terms of revenue, profitability, the financials. It's just not looking good. I mean, there's a reason why it's going down, right? So why do you want to get on a stock which are going down and down and down, right? And thinking to buy cheap, like a bargain or at a discount, right? Because cheap can become cheaper. Great, right? So I think a lot of you are typing in great, all right, but make sure you put it in your mind, right? Try not to focus on cheap stuff in the stock market. You can do it in like Great Singapore Sale, great, but not in the stock market, all right? Because things can really get cheaper until, like what some of you say, become dust. All right, thank you. Okay, so this is �REX International, right? So very quickly, you can see that in terms of the moving averages, right? Since last year, we have already turned into a downtrend. Right, in case you don't know, we were in an uptrend, right? In 2020, 2021, great movement up, a little bit volatile. But since last year, we have turned into a downtrend. All right, and we have formed lower highs, right? Lower highs. Look at this, right? So as it goes down, it rebounds. I mean, it goes down doesn't mean it cannot rebound. It can rebound a little bit. Why? Because people like to do some short covering. Some might want to buy at a discount, and then it might rebound a bit. But the key here is this: when it rebounds, like for example, when it rebounds, does it rebound all the way up, back to like the previous high, or did it just like rebound, like a little bit? Does that make sense, guys? So if it just rebounds a little bit and it didn't even like rebound back and went back to the previous high, it just went up a little bit and then sellers came back and push it back down, like what we see over here. So it's a rebound, yeah, great, but it just went up a little bit, it went down, it rebound a little bit, right? Another lower high, same thing, went down, it rebound a little bit again, and sellers came back. So each time it rebounds, sellers are down, sellers are coming back to push prices even lower. Does it make sense? All right, and of course it went even lower, all right, and we just went all the way down. And same thing, it rebound, great, but did it rebound like higher to the same high? Did it rebound to the same high? No, it just went down, it just rebound a little bit, right, and it went up to lower high. So the high became even lower right over here. Does it make sense, guys? I hope you guys are learning something, right? So it became lower high, and when that happened, pretty much we are in a very firm downtrend, right? So this is where we are right now, about 0.157. So I would say that for this �REX International, it has been in the downtrend, right? We are pretty much seeing a little bit of resistance. If you can see right over here, about that 16 cents. Let me just draw this right here. This 0.160. So in a downtrend, we can also consolidate, right? We can also consolidate, and we might see a resistance. What is the resistance? It's a level whereby there's just some selling over there, all right? And if we stay below it, it's not so good. the downtrend is intact. So right now, 16 cents, right? 0.160, which we are still below. I think it's 157 today. All right. Would be that immediate resistance. So it might just rebound a little bit, right? It's a little bit more volatile. So it might just rebound a little bit. Maybe, it might, if it break, of course, if it does break the 16 cents, right? You might probably see a little bit of push to like near 70 to 80. And that's where some selling might come back again and we might hit even lower. All right. So in the downtrend, just be a little bit more careful because each time it rebounds, all right, sellers might be looking around, getting in to sell, right, and short and to push prices even lower. So a little bit more weakness, I would say, for this company called Rex International. All right. Okay, let's move on to the next one, right? Next one, we should be like DBS, right? DBS, let's take a look at it right over here. Okay, so this is DBS trading at about $30.71. Right? How many of you are, actually type in DBS in the terms of the live poll? Type yes, guys. Type yes in the chat if you actually type DBS and you want DBS to be covered. Let me know. Just type yes in the chat so I know how many of you are actually asking for DBS. All right. So now I think we have like more than 250 of you. Welcome, guys. Welcome to this Facebook live call, right? Called Ask Me Any Stock. So we are pretty much going through the stocks right now. We have covered 3 stocks: Samudera Shipping, Wilmar, and Rex International. Now we're going to stock number 4, which will be DBS, right? DBS, and make sure you stay all the way to the end. All right, stay all the way to the end if you want to know that one stock that I have in my watch list for potentially a bit more upside. I think you might want to put it in your watch list as well, right? All right, so yes, well, it seems like a lot of you are asking about DBS. Yes. Kitty, yes. Alistair, yes. Patrick, yes. All right. Yeah, the banks are pretty popular. I think a lot of people are asking about the banks. So let's take a look at DBS right now, okay? Okay, so $30.70. So before I analyze the stock, so very quickly, what I'll do for any single stock, right, within like 5 seconds, I mean, sometimes I don't even need to draw it, but I always like to draw what we call horizontal lines, right? Horizontal price levels, that's what we call support and resistance, because it gives me an idea based on the past prices, based on the history of the stock, right, where we have seen a pretty strong price level whereby we saw a couple of rebounds that is a support, or maybe even a price level whereby we saw sellers just coming back. It just cannot go above that level. It just pushes back down every time it nears it. That is what we call a resistance level. So just by having all these key price levels highlighted, it will be much clearer as to where we are and where we can potentially head to. Does it make sense? Right. So let me just draw it for you right now before I analyze this stock. So you can see this is DBS. All right, and let me just draw one line right up here. I think this is pretty key. All right, the $32 level. All right, and okay, good. I think I just want to keep it simple. So $30.71 is where we close today. All right, and I want to bring your attention to this very good support level. In fact, last year we hit it there, we rebounded again. All right, and this level would be here, $29, right? 29 to even 29.50. I think these are all pretty strong zones, right? Whereby some bargain hunting can come back again. All right. And if it does hit there again, like what we saw over here last year in July, you can see, right? We traded all the way back down to this support. And of course, at this point in time last year when we were there, of course, nobody knew that it would rebound back up, which obviously it did, right? But when it hit it there, you could see that we were pretty much back to that, past few months support. So when it hit it back to this support, you can see that it was holding above previously as well. So when it hit it there, there could be an opportunity to get in and to accumulate on dips, especially if we hit it there and we held above that very same support. Does it make sense? All right. And of course, yeah, I mean, it did manage to see a bit of a rebound all the way back up. But the point here is that when you see prices hitting to a support that's been holding really well and it consolidates, and of course, it will not just like hit there like 3 days or 1 day and then pump this rebound back up like instantly. No. All right. Sometimes we might just hit that support level. We might see a bit of consolidation. Buyers are starting to come back up, but the support is actually holding, right? And we might see the moving averages. Like in this case, you can see that as it consolidates, the green line was down. It started to flatten out, and the upwards movement actually happened when the green line, the 20 days moving average, started to point up. You can see, and that's where it made its way all the way back up, right? So right now, you can see that we might be seeing weakness, right? We might be seeing weakness in short term. Why? Because we have broken this $32 support. So this $32 was a pretty strong support. Look at this right here, right? We were trying to hold above it since like September last year. And unfortunately, somewhere in May, right, about 2 months back, we broke 32. You can see swing down, swing up. Went back to the same 32, couldn't get above, came back down. Last week, went back to the same 32, couldn't get above again, came back down again. So this 32, right now, guys, $32. 32, right? $32. It's a very key resistance level for now. All right. If we stay below 32, not saying that it's, if we stay below 32, it will like crash or go all the way down. No, I mean, if we just stay below 32, it's just, it's just a little bit weaker in terms of it, like just consolidating at a lower level. Does it make sense? All right. But if we were to break past, right, if we were to like slowly consolidate and eventually break above that 32, great. All right. That is where the upside reversal can happen, like what we saw previously as well. As it broke 32, you can see the rebound actually happened all the way up to that 35 to 36 level. All right, that is above 32, right? But of course, it has not happened yet. We're still below 32, obviously. All right, but just take note of this very key resistance level whereby we are still below. Now it's like $30.71. It's a little bit far off, right? But last week we were there. Sellers came back and pushed it back down again. All right. So what could you potentially do? I think there are a few things you can do. One thing about DBS is that, as I mentioned, 29 to 29.50 or even $30 are good support zones, right? Very good support zones. We have rebounded many times since 2 years back. All right. So if it does hit to this level again, right? Maybe 29.50, 29.80, 30. I'm not saying that you would definitely hit there for you to buy and then rebound back up. But, if it does hit to those levels again, it consolidates like what we see over here, then great, right? That is where it could be a good opportunity again, all right, to start loading up on, especially on banks like this, right, for the longer term. I mean, if you want to catch the rebound all the way back up. Does it make sense? Right. So that is what potentially you can do. All right. Or you could also wait for like a very clear price action move above 32, like I mentioned. If that happens, great. I think if that happens, it will set off a new phase. You might start to see that reversal back to 35 to 36. All right. And I think, right, if it does break 32, just take note, this green line, this green line is the 20 days moving average. It's a short-term moving average. You can see it was pointing down. All right, it was pointing down. When we broke that 32, right, we actually pointed down. Right. But for the past 1 month, you can see that this green line is starting to what? It's starting to flatten out. Does it make sense? It's like sideways. It's not really pointing down. It's sideways. All right, great. And of course, we have seen some support at about 30, 50 as well. All right. And yeah, so this green line is sideways. So it's a bit of a short-term consolidation, right? But as I say, right, if we break 32, I can tell you, if we break 32, this green line, let me show you, right? This green line will start to gradually point up. It will start to gradually point up prices above it. We break above 32. I think that can really set off the reversal happening again for DBS. All right, so just take note of this key level. Okay, so that is for pretty much DBS. Okay, very good. So we've covered 4 stocks, guys. 4 stocks already. Samudra Shipping. We have Wilmar. Number 3, Arex International. Number 4, DBS. All right, how many of you have learned something so far? All right, you have learned something so far, guys. Type 5 in the chat. If you're still following me, you're still here, type 5 in the chat if you have taken away something so far based on this Facebook live session called Ask Me Any Stocks. Let me know, guys. All right, awesome. Okay, and by the way, guys, I mean, some of you might be clients of mine in Phillip Securities. I think we have like more than 200 of you on board here. Some of you might be just scrolling Facebook or YouTube shorts or something, and you might just jump into this live video. But I think some of you might be clients of mine in Phillip Securities. In fact, guys, let me know in the chat, guys, how many of you are actually clients of mine in Phillip Securities? Just type client, CLIENT, type client in the chat if you're actually a client, so that I can acknowledge all of you, but and see who is actually not yet a client of mine in Phillip Securities. Type client in the chat if you are actually a client of mine in Phillip Securities. I will see if I can remember you guys. let me know, right? So I think we have quite a bit of clients here because we have sent out a note to clients as well, but some of you might be just scrolling in the public as well. All right, let me know so that I can, okay, good. We have like Pauline, David, yeah, hi, Junice, Pauline, David, Cheryl, Alfred, client. So we have quite a bit of clients over here. Thank you so much for the support, guys. I really appreciate it. All right, if you're trading under me in your account, thank you so much. I believe you guys should be in our private WhatsApp broadcast as well, whereby we do share some ideas on the daily basis. So for those of you who are not yet, so pretty much a lot of clients, thank you guys. All right, so if you're not yet a client of mine, guys, just to share, I mean, as a client of mine in Philip, we do actually have some private trainings, and we do actually share some of those ideas to clients by WhatsApp daily. All right, some of those ideas that a little description, a little chart, some targets drawn, and you will get it by WhatsApp daily. So if you are trading online on your own, all right, and you want to join many of those clients over here like Esther, Chris, Sean, Johnny, John, Donald, and all that. Thank you so much, Patrick, Chin Hoon. We have a lot of clients over here, Jim as well. Hi, Ching Chua. All right, yeah, if you join many of those clients over here, you are trading online, you have no broker, you're just logging online to your platform, no service, nobody calls you, no WhatsApp, no ideas, no training, no videos, nothing. Make sure you come on board as a client of mine. All right, so I'll just place the link in the chat. All right, for those of you who are not yet a client of mine in Philip Securities and you are pretty much trading online on your own, without a broker or some online platforms, and nobody actually does anything, right? You're just like doing everything on your own. All right, so that is the link, guys. That is the link. If you're not yet a client, click on it, and that's where my team will reach out to you. All right, especially as I say, if you are, and first thing first, guys, you do not pay anything more, all right, to get services like this. So we're trying to kind of like, change the way the industry is working. You do not pay anything more. It's exactly the same as you pay when you're trading anyway. All right, but the question is, when you're trading anyway, are you getting any service, or you're just pretty much, just trading online? Nobody bothers about you. You're just paying your commissions and you don't get any service at all. So click on the link if that's what is happening to you. You need to wait a few minutes to call a hotline and wait for somebody to pick up the phone. All right, this is not how it works, right? Click on the link, find out how you can become a client of mine in Philip Securities, right? So that is the link. So thank you for those of you who are my client of mine. I really appreciate the support. And let's get on with the session, right? The Ask Me Any Stock Facebook Live session. So that is the link. That's the link, guys. For those of you who are not the client, click on it and you can come on board as one to get some of our ideas by WhatsApp much faster daily. All right, thank you, Munchu client. So a lot of clients here. Thank you so much. Right, so let's go on to stock number 5. Right, stock number 5, and that would be Keppel Corp. Let's take a look at this stock called Keppel Corp right now. Right, so Keppel Corp is one of those stocks whereby I've covered, I would say, since the beginning of the year. A very, very strong company. All right, and we actually broke this. So I think I mentioned to some of my clients as well. We were trading. Let me just do a bit of a history of what has happened right before I dive into where we are right now. But essentially for Keppel Corp, we have been trading below this very critical resistance level. As I mentioned, it's a price level whereby we have touched many times, and about 1, 2, 3, and we actually were forming what we call higher lows, right? Higher lows whereby we could draw an upward sloping channel support. Look at this right over here. So this was somewhere around like February. We were still below that $5 psychological level. All right. And we touched the $5 many times and we just couldn't get above it. But finally, on the 23rd of Feb, we broke the $5. And when it happened, you see that we were already in an sorry, right? So we were already in an uptrend as it broke the $5. So that's a good sign of strength of the uptrend actually continuing higher. So of course, I've sent out a note to some of my inner circle members, to clients as well, and we have started to push higher. All right, eventually we broke that $6 level as well, and we pushed a little bit higher. So normally when it pushes up in an uptrend, it doesn't just go up and up and up every day. Like, as I say, people might want to take some profit along the way, right? And that's where we can see some consolidation. So it's good, right? It's healthy to see a consolidation, right? We want to see, stocks going like this. So it might push up, right? And then we see some consolidation, it breaks up, we see some consolidation, it breaks up, and we see some consolidation before attempting to push higher. That is what we call a healthy uptrend, rather than just pop, and just like going up by like 50-60% in a few months. That's where you want to be careful, because as it moves up too fast, there are no supports being found. All right, so we want to see some supports being found as it moves up, and that is where if it consolidates, right, the support will be found, and the support gets higher as it consolidates higher. Does it make sense? All right, so that is for that's how we want to look at a healthy uptrending stock. All right, so let's take a look at Keppel Corp right now. So you can see sorry guys. Okay, so this is Keppel Corp. You can see that the longer term trend right over here, we look at the 100 days moving average and the 200 days moving average. So since last year, even before when it broke the $5, the 100 days moving average and the 200 days moving average line were already pointing up, right? And now obviously they're still pointing up. So if you ask me in terms of the longer term trend, is it up or down? Longer term trend for Keppel Corp. Let me know, guys, is it up or down? Type in the chat, guys. The longer term trend for this company called Keppel Corp. Is it up or is it down? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat before I dive into it. Right, wow. So it's up. Catherine, up. Jen, up. Dave, up. Ellen, wow. Seems like all of you know that it's up. Right? Well, good. So let's kind of like find out and understand why, right? So as I say, since it broke the $5, we have accelerated in terms of the uptrend, right? And the uptrend became even stronger. It started to push higher, right? And what happens is that the longer term trend also continued to push even higher. It was already up, but it continued to push even higher. And right now, I would say with the red line above the blue, the longer term trend still looks quite positive, right? That is the longer term trend. But in the short term, right, because it has pushed up quite a bit as well, in the short term, we can also see some profit taking. We can also see some selling. My push up, like you went to that target at about the $7 plus, and some selling came back as we saw some heavy selling. And in the short term, we are back to some of those support levels. So in the longer term uptrend, you can push up and up, but in the short term, we can also see it retrace a little bit back down to some of those key support, right? So in this case, for Keppel Corp, right, the support would be around that $6.50 level. Like if I drawn right over here, you can see it's about $6.50, because previously, as I said, this $6.50 was actually a resistance from like April, May, June, until it broke above that $6.50. You can see it shot up, right? So $6.50 would be a really strong resistance. And over the past 1-2 weeks, we were actually attempting to hold above that $6.50, which is now the support level. All right, but let's take a look at what's happened today, right? What's happened today? So you can see that today, it seems like we have kind of like closed at about $6.49, right? $6.49, which is like below $6.50 by 1 cent, right? So it's slightly not so good in the short term, all right? Because if we go below the $6.50, we might potentially see the next support. Let's see, where would that be? We might potentially see the next support coming in around that $6.20 level. Well, because that was where we were in June before it rebounded up. Same thing over here. So around that $6.20, maybe even $6, which is where the 100 days moving average line is. You can see right here, the 100 days moving average line, which I talk about, is just right at the $6 mark. So anything below $6.50, of course, now it's $6.49. It's only like 1 day. We have to see like tomorrow or maybe even next week. If we go like 6.45, 6.47, below $6.50, right? Then, unfortunately, some short-term selling can come back. We might push towards $6.20, $6 around there, and hopefully some bargain hunting can come back again, right? That's where the longer-term trend still remains intact. So let me just draw some targets for you right over here. I think as we hit to these levels, assuming that the $6.50 were to break down firmly, all right, because It hasn't really broken down firmly. It's only like 1 cent just below 650. We have to see next few days. But if it does break down firmly, yes, some short-term selling can come back all the way from $6 to $6.20. There's potentially where some bargain hunting can come back again. Does it make sense? And we are pretty much back to that consolidation, right? The next lower support that we have been holding since like April and May. All right, so that is for Capricorn. It still looks quite good in the longer term, but as I said, in the short term, if it breaks certain support, it can also see some selling. But so it's good that, for companies like this that has pushed up a lot, you want to take steps as they push up, especially if you have got out at near like $7 plus, great. You have got in near like $4 or $5 or $6, great. If you have got out near $7, that's a good thing, right? That means you're not greedy. You have taken steps to protect your profits. It retraces back down. You have a stop loss to get out, you still make money, right? So that's what you can do. A little bit on the strategy part. I'll not talk too much about the strategy, but essentially, if you're making money, what you can do is to take steps to protect your profit such that you don't want it to come back all the way back down to your same price, and then from making money, you're like, back to square one. Does it make sense? All right. So always take steps to protect your profits, especially profits that you are already making. You want to kind of like raise your stop loss to protect it. So if it comes back down, well, never mind, you make a bit lesser, but you still make money. All right, so that is for that's some of the strategy part which you can apply. Okay. Sorry. Right. Okay. So this is for Capricorn, 6 to 620. Right, one of those key levels that you want to watch. 650. Let's see if that holds tomorrow. All right. Okay. So that is for Capricorn. Let's take a look at the next one, which will be like 𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐶𝐸. 𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐸 industry. Well, it seems like I've drawn some targets. Let's take a look at it, right? So I think for 𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐸 industry, quite clearly, we have found a resistance right here at $5.80. Look at this, right? 2 times we neared it and we have touched it. And in fact, now we are making our way back now. So as it hits to a very key resistance, one of the things you can do, right, is to lock in some profits. Nothing wrong, all right? Especially if the resistance we have touched like 3, 4, 5 times, many times. And like for example, like for this 𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐸 industry, right? You might come back up again, come back up again. So as it hits to this near 580, 570 something, all right? You can think about locking in some profits because that is where selling or some profit taking can happen again. All right. And if you do get out and it retraces back down, yeah, you can think about getting in again. Does that make sense? All right. So that's what you can do, especially if the stock were to hit to a firm resistance. In this case, for 𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐸 industry, of course, it's not really that firm because it's only like 2 times they touch it, but at least now we can affirm, right, in terms of the 580 as a pretty decent resistance level, whereby if it does go back there again, we can see selling. All right, so let me just draw that level for you near 580 right over here. We want to put it in maybe red color because that's what we call a selling zone. We hit there again, some selling can come back, right? So now same thing, yeah, we hit it there. We are now making our way back down, but the question is where, how down can we hit to before, right, some, support comes back, right? Where would be that level? Well, I would say that I think all of you can see as well. That level would be that $5, right? The $5 psychological level. Let me just draw this little rectangle for you again, right? $5, 5.10, all right? Anything near 5 something, right? Now it's 5.38, so you might just pull back a little bit more, 5.10, 5.15, 5, right over here in this zone. And yeah, hopefully we see some good bullish reversal candles like what we saw, and we can potentially see a bit of a rebound. So you can see this is the range up, swing down, swing up, now we down, and then we up and down, and eventually we break the 580 to $6, and great, that is where the uptrend can continue, all right, to the next phase. So this is 𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐸 industry. In fact, this is one of those stocks that we have covered since last year, right? Since last year, we have been in an uptrend. We broke certain resistance like the $3.50. You can see started to push up. So you can see that as it moves up, it doesn't just move up all the way, right? It consolidates. Let me explain to you, right? So right now, we are seeing a consolidation. So a little bit, bigger range, but it is actually consolidating like what we have seen. Look at this right here. So let me explain to you what I mean, right? So you can see that it has turned into a bit of an uptrend, and we were consolidating, went up, we consolidate, we went up, we consolidate, we went up, consolidate, went up, consolidate. Can you see, guys? So that is pretty much what is happening. All right, as it moves up, it consolidates, it push higher, right? And as it push higher, the higher support is being found. All right, so right now, this higher support is at that $5 level, right? So as long as it stays above $5, I mean, assuming that it stays above $5, right? It goes to near that 5 and then buyers come back, right? We see some good bullish candles coming back again. Yeah, then I would say we are pretty safe, right? This stock is still in a pretty good uptrend above $5. So now it's like 5.38 is still a little bit far off. But I would say $5 would be that pretty good support that you want to watch. All right, so that would be for 𝐸𝐴𝐵𝐶 industry. All right, one of the stocks that we like. All right, but right now is just seeing some selling. All right, and in fact for 𝐸𝐴𝐵𝐶 industry, all right, we have got a pretty I mean we have this system whereby we do scan. All right, for those of you who want to learn a bit more in terms of the strategy, in terms of like the system that we use and all that, you can attend one of those free webinars that we are running. I mean, make sure you're on my email list, especially for those of you who are not on my email list, you're not a client of mine, you want to find a little bit more, perhaps you could download one of my free trend trading report. I'll place the link right there. Be on my email list so that whenever there are any new webinars that are out in the future, or maybe even these live sessions, we'll drop you an email as well. I've placed the link in the chat, right? And you can learn a bit more on the strategy, my systems in a free webinar, right? So make sure you are on my email list so that you can be alerted. All right. Okay, very good. So let's go on to talk about the next stock, which would be SIA. So let's see what we have covered so far. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. All right, so SIA. So that will be stock number 7. So very quickly, guys, we've covered a total of like 6 stocks already. Samurai Shipping, Wilmar, Rex International, number 4, DBS, number 5, Keppel Corp, number 6, 𝐸𝐴𝐵𝐶 Industry. So just one or two more stocks. Next one will be SIA. That is number 7, right? Number 7. So SIA, one of those stocks that we like. In fact, clients were alerted as well. And when we broke this level, this would be the $6, right? The $6 level, same thing we have touched many times since last year. And when we broke this $6 level, we have like 2-3 days above it, and the rally really started. Right over here, right? So it broke the $6, and of course, when it broke the $6, what were the trend actually pointing? Was it up or down? You can see that when it broke $6, the trend was pretty much up, and the 20 days moving average was also kind of like starting to slope up, right? So that was a really good move, right? So you've caught like the move all the way up, like some of us have, from 6 all the way to 8. It's like more than 30% in about 2 months, right? Just looking at the price alone, right? Without looking at like some leverage tools like CFD and all that, you get even higher return. But just by looking at the price alone, about a 30% upside from $6 to $8. All right, but right now we are at about $7.21 after heading to that $8 target, which is normal, right? Which is normal. We want to see a stock, pushing higher. Some selling comes back, it retraces back down, and we see some support being found. So in this case, I think for SIA, because we have gone up too fast, too quickly, too much, and that's where now we are seeing some selling, right? So hopefully we find some support, and let's see where would that support be. Well, I would say that the support, right, before last week, we were actually seeing some support at around that 735, right? 735 level. So that was kind of like the support around that 735, also where the 20 days moving average is. It was like, just holding above 735 or like 740, 750. So 735 was actually a support. But what happens was just, past few days, we broke down. We broke down the 735. So this 735, you can see right over here, has turned to what we call a support to a resistance. Does it make sense? Right now, we are below 735. So this 735 has turned to a resistance. Let me just change this line to red in color. Are you guys following so far? Right, so 735. That would be, maybe if you can give a little bit of leeway, you can say 740 as well. So 735 to 740, I think that is the immediate resistance right now, right? What about the support? Well, support, right, would be the psychological $7, right? The $7 level right over here, right? First of all, $7 is a psychological level, like the $6, right? But it seems like over the past 1 week, we are kind of like nearing there, and buyers are starting to come back as well. So the range is quite clearly from about 7, right, to about 735, 740, right? That is pretty much the range right now, right? And if we do, get above that 740, 735, great. That is where potentially we could see the reversal happening again all the way back to $8. All right, so this is SIA. I think it looks quite good, but just that, of course, in the short term, we are just back to some sideways move from 7 to 735. And, as long as the 7 were to hold, I think we are still okay. All right, we want to, take steps as well. If you have already like got in like $5 or $6, let's say, you want to take steps to protect your profits. If it does break a certain support, you can reduce some exposure. You don't want it to go back down to the same price, all right, to where you have bought, especially if you're already sitting on profits. All right. Okay, good. So this is SIA right here, right? About 721. The range is 7 to 7.35. All right. So let me go ahead to share with you. I mean, yeah, as I mentioned, just very quickly, I don't want to talk too much about it, but we do have a system for whereby it alerts us on certain stocks in the Singapore, the US market, and not only that, they also kinds of guides us on entry and exit. So this is SIA, right? You can see that the trend since last year, it has turned from red to green in color. We have a kind of a green bar at the bottom right here, and we had a couple of what we call bullish signals that came up since last year. You can see some push up from like 5 to 550. We got some red signals, bearish signals coming out, went down. But let me put your attention to this signal right here on the 20th of April, right? So as I mentioned, 20th of April, we will just right here, and we were below that critical $6 level, as I mentioned, right? $6 was a very, very key resistance. So we got this signal, and eventually you can see that we broke the $6 pump, right? This bullish signal really played out all the way, and we got an exit right over here. So an exit just means that, well, it's good to take some profit because we're seeing a bit of selling pressure. So we got a bullish signal, we got an exit from this bullish signal. And after exit, you can see it started to trade down a little bit. So yeah, it depends, right? As I say, we might just consolidate a little bit more from 735 if we see a new bullish signal coming out again, all right? And then we get a little again, that's where we might want to look at it again. I think that bullish signal can probably come out again if we were to go above that 735 to 740. Well, it might set off a new buying momentum coming back again. Does it make sense? All right, so that is how we have a system to guide us. So as I say, this whole session right here, Ask Me Any Stock, is just to cover the stocks that you guys want. But if you're keen to learn a bit more in terms of the strategy, how to have access to the system, how we use the system and all that, attend one of those free webinars in the future. All right, make sure you're on my email list and you attend a free webinar in the future to learn a bit more on the entire One Good Trend framework and pretty much the system that we have to help us as well. Right? So this is SIA. Since we're talking about SIA, I thought why not just show you what it says on my One GT system. So we got an exit, right? We got an exit, which is it doesn't mean it's bad. It just shows that we're still seeing selling, but we'll see if any new bullish comes back again. All right. So let's move on to the final stock, which would be UOB, right? UOB. Let's take a look. Okay, let's take a look. So I think I've drawn a little bit of support and resistance lines for UOB. All right, and this is where we are right now, about 27.51. So I would say that for UOB, you want to take note of this level, right, whereby we are back to this support again, right? And this support, it is at $27.50. You can see since last month, about 2 months back, we have been holding above that $27.50. In fact, just in March, we neared it, rebounded all the way back up. Last year as well, you can see right over here, very, very clear resistance at $27.50. And of course, when we broke that $27.50, it shot all the way back up. Does it make sense? So this $27.50 is quite important. It's an important support level whereby we want to hold above for this consolidation phase to continue. And that range should be $27.50 to $28.50. Look at it. I mean, it's quite clearly, right? You can see, right? It is just for the past like 2-3 months, it's down, swing up, swing down, swing up. That is the range, right? And while it is doing that, you can see the green line, it was down. This green line, 20 days moving average, was pointing down. But now this green line has started to flatten out a little bit. In fact, I think it's pointing down a little bit. So just be a bit more cautious because, yeah, today is 27.51. I'm really not too sure whether the 2750 will hold, but if you were to break that 2750, all right, like what we saw over here, look at this, right? So when we broke 2750, we went all the way down to the next support at about that $26. So just take note. I think if 2750 were to be broken, we might potentially see a bit of weakness in the short term, right, to the next lower support, all right? And it could be anything from like 26 to 2650, right, based on what we have seen previously, right over here. You can see we hit it after breaking 2750, went down, same thing, we went down again, and then that is a next support level around that 26 to 2650, right? So just watch the UOB. I think we are at a very critical phase. Right at that support is 27.51, just above 2750. So if tomorrow or maybe next week or what, if we do see some really bearish price actions, we just break down the support and the trend start to turn down in terms of the moving averages. Well, some short-term, kind of like weakness or some short-term selling can happen. Which, I mean, if you're looking to get in on dips, well, that could be a good thing as well. I mean, as it dips to near 26 to 2750, 26 to 2650, those could be good levels whereby you can also think about getting in again on dips, especially if you're those who want to catch a rebound on the banks and all that. Yeah, that could be a level to watch as well. All right, so that is for UOB. Okay, good. So guys, I think I've pretty much covered the 8 stocks, right? The 8 stocks already. I think, Jen, you're asking about, let me see, right? So we have some questions. Could you also touch on 𝐶TRM as well since you're done with Capital Corp? Okay, well, maybe just one more stocks. 𝐶TRM, which is like Sembcorp Marine. Previously, they changed their name. Let's take a look at 𝐶TRM, all right? Maybe just write it down. So that's stock number 9, which would be 𝐶TRM. All right, so guys, make sure you stay all the way to the end, all right, because I'll be sharing with you very quickly in just a bit one of the stocks that I like that you can watch as well. But let's talk about this company called 𝐶TRM, right? 𝐶TRM, which is Sembcorp Marine previously, right? But they have changed their name to 𝐶TRM. Okay, so this is 𝐶TRM, right, at about 0.125. So we can see quite clearly we have found the same support again. Let me just draw it for you. You can see that the 0.120, look at this right here. It was a very firm resistance level. When we broke up, you can see it shot all the way up to from 120 to 150. So 150 is that firm resistance level, right? Pretty much the most recent high point since last year, November to beginning of the year, 0.150. All right, but let's not talk about the level. What is the immediate resistance level that we are seeing right now for 𝐶TRM? Anybody can tell me what is the immediate resistance level for 𝐶TRM based on the past 1 to 2 months, right? Based on 1 to 2 months, what would be that resistance level? Anybody can share me what is the immediate resistance level? And you can see that I've drawn a red line right over there, all right, pretty near this price level whereby we have seen selling coming back. All right, what is the key level? Let me know, anyone. All right, that's when you're saying that 0.130. All right, great. So I would say that this very key resistance will be somewhere around that, maybe 13. Give it a little bit of leeway. We could say it's about 0.135. I mean, it's about 133 to 135, but we can just round up a little bit. I think it is about 0.133 to 0.135. So we can just say 0.135. That is the range right now for 𝐶TRM, right? 12 cents, right? 12 cents is a good support. You can see that just, last month, we hit it there again. We saw a good bullish candle. We got a long lower shadow right over here. and the rebound happened, and it went down again, and now we might be making our way back up. So that is the range, 120 to 0.135. So I'm saying in terms of the trend, it is not really like an up, but at least we have found some higher support, right? We have found some higher support because that support that we were holding above since last year was actually at 10 cents. Look at it, it's 10 cents. We actually sold all the way down 10 cents. But now the support have gone higher. We are back to a higher support at 12 cents. No longer 10 cents. Does it make sense? All right. It's no longer 10 cents. The support is now at 12. Of course, I mean, if we do break the 12, then not so good. We might get back to 10. But so far, we are already finding, some support or pretty much a higher price level whereby buyers are starting to come back. So, and that would be the 12 cents. So anything near 12 cents, I think we are just in what we call a bit of a consolidation. So 12 to 135. After 135, great. You can see right over here, guys, we can actually extend this all the way back up from here to here. And after 135, as you can guess, yes, it is pretty much back to that previous high at 0.150 from here to here. Does it make sense, guys? Can you see it coming? All right, so that is pretty much how we project as well by the current range, and we can project it higher. You can see sometimes it just fits really nicely all the way back to that previous higher consolidation at the end of 2022. All right, but this is the range right now, 125. So anything above 120, I think it still looks quite good. Have a plan. I mean, if you're looking to get in like 121, 122, 123, just to catch the rebound up, get out, that's fine. But have a plan, right? In case the 120 to break, have a stop loss, because as I mentioned, if 120 breaks down, the downside can happen all the way back to like 10 cents, which is pretty much where we were previously. All right, so that is for 𝐒𝐚𝐻, which is pretty much stock number 9. All right, thank you, Jen. Lucky, right? Okay, very good. So, how many of you want me to cover one bonus stock that I like? All right, let me know, guys. Type 10 in the chat if you want me. I want to have at least more than 30 of you or 40 of you typing 10 in the chat before I review to you one stocks that you can put in your watch list for potentially a bit more upside. Type 10 in the chat if you want me to review to you this very stock. Type 10 in the chat. At least more than 30 or 40 of you, my team will count. All right. If not, then we will just end this session. So type 10 in the chat. Let me know, guys. So thank you so much, guys, for staying all the way to the end of this session. For those of you who have joined us all the way from the start, all the way to the end right now, I really appreciate your time. I hope that you have take away something, or you have learned something, you have found some value in hopefully the stocks that you guys were asking. And hopefully I just covered one of those stocks that you asked, right? I mean, you shared 3. If I've covered 1, jackpot, great. And I hope that you have taken away something. How many of you have at least taken away something in this very session? Just type value in the chat, guys. Type value in the chat if you're one of those who have, and I mean this whole 1.5 hours at least you got away, you got some golden nuggets at least. It's not a time wasted. Type value in the chat if you belong to that group who just got some value out of this whole entire live session. All right, so I see a lot of value 𝐸 that 10, value 10, value. All right, so I think my team has told me it's like awesome. All right, more than at least 40 of you typing 10, Vincent, Andrew, Kelvin, 10. Lots of value. Awesome. Doris, thank you. Kit, Bernard, thanks for being here. Isaac, good to see you here. Michael, Dan, value. Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. All right, so let me go on to share with you, all right, that one stock which I think we are looking quite strong. I'm not saying that, just a quick disclaimer, guys, whatever that's shared in this session is just for education purpose or maybe even entertainment purpose. So please do your own due diligence, all right? And it's not an inducement to buy or sell. I'm just giving you a quick opinion on what you can do and some of the key levels. So it's just a quick disclaimer, all right? You want to do your own due diligence as well, all right? So let me share with you that one stock which I think you can watch, and I think it looks quite good, all right? And you might want to put it in your watch list, all right? So let me talk about this stock right here, and that will be Food Empire, right? Food Empire, right over here. So Food Empire is one of those stocks that we liked, all right? And For those of you who are my clients in Philips Securities, how many of you have actually, received a message from me by WhatsApp that, when we talk about this stock over the past like few months? All right, type yes if you actually receive a message on me actually alerting you to this stock called Food Empire. Any of you or my clients especially. All right, let me know in the chat, guys, if you have been alerted. Right? I think some of you are my clients. Andy, yes. I think both of you who are my clients, right? You are probably on my, on my Teams and my WhatsApp broadcast list, and that is where we do. I think we have shared Food Empire for quite a while already over the past few months, right? Yes, awesome. Okay, very good. So this is Food Empire. Let me go ahead to share with you why I still like it. All right, and as I say, guys, for those of you who are not, I think you have some people who are private messaging me and my team, asking about how to become a client. How do you get those ideas by WhatsApp and all that? I tell you what, let me just place the link again for those of you who are not yet. If you are, great. All right, thank you. I think a lot of you are here. But if you're not yet a client of mine in Philips Securities, for the very last time, I'll say it again, right? You're not yet a client. You are trading on your own online and some online brokers. You don't really have a broker to send you anything. No ideas, no videos, no WhatsApp, no training. You don't even know who your broker is in the first place. You can come on board as a client of mine in Philly, whereby me and my team will assist you even more, and you do not pay anything more. It's pretty much the same as whatever you're paying when you're trading anyway, right? The question is, when you're paying those standard usual commissions, is anybody doing anything or adding value to you? All right. Okay. So that's the link again. Final time, and that's it. Right. So let's talk about Food Empire right now. So Food Empire is one of those stocks that we like, since last year. December, right? Last year, December, January, and this trend really started to turn when we broke some of those key resistance level as the moving average turned up, right? So this was the 60 cents level when I first spotted it right over here. We were consolidating. Look at this, right? And it broke that 70 cents. Can you see? And we started to just, of course, when it broke the 70 cents, you can see that the trend was already pointing up. 100 days above the blue, 100 rate above the blue. The green line was obviously pointing up then, and it just went up. You can see, of course, it didn't go up every single day as well, right? We started to see some minor consolidation. It pushed up, minor consolidation again, and then it went up and then it consolidated again. So over the past, I would say 2 to 3 months, we have seen that sideways consolidation, right, as the longer term trend. So you can see that as we push higher, prices actually got further away in terms of the upwards, in terms of it being further away from the longer term moving averages, the red and the black. You see, initially it was quite near the red line, you can see, but as it pushed up a little bit faster and more, prices went further away from the longer term moving averages, the red and the blue line, until we started to see some consolidation. So that's where, as it consolidates higher, the red and the blue line, right, it starts to play a bit of a catch up. And finally, we are back. This prices is very near the 100 days moving average line. Again, same thing like where we were in November, right? So it becomes very near because the red line continued to move up, and eventually, prices stay about the same, and the red line continue to move up, and finally it's like near to each other again. Does it make sense? All right, so that is a bit of a good thing because we have closed the gap, right, in terms of prices coming back or nearing that longer term moving averages again. So that's the first thing, right? So of course it's obviously still above the red line, and this is the 100 days moving average. So let's take a look at the green line, the 20 days moving average. So as it started to consolidate since somewhere around end of March, you can see it went up, down, swing up, down, and that is pretty much the range from about 95 cents to $1.10, right? 95 to $1.10. That is pretty much the range right now. In fact, I think we have seen a bit of support coming back, not even at 95, but it seems like $1. If you want, maybe even $1, it is slightly a support already. Since like past 2 weeks, we have already, pushed above the $1 and still staying above the $1. And of course, this 20 days moving average line, this green line, is also at $1. Does it make sense? All right. So I would say that $1 would be a kind of a immediate support level for now. All right. Anything above $1 or even the 95 cents, these stocks still looks quite good. All right. But one thing you want to take note of would be this, right? That very critical resistance. Obviously, of course, I've set my alerts and to be reminded and all that. But you want to watch this level, right? This very critical resistance at about 110. All right. So far, for the past 2-3 months, we have not been able to get above it. But if we do get above it, I can tell you that could be a very, very meaningful move because we have traded below for like I would say about 3 over months. That could be a really meaningful move whereby targets could be raised. If we were to get above the 110 firmly, and that's where target could be raised all the way to maybe about that 125 or maybe even to 130. That could be the next upside after 110. Does it make sense? Right. So that is how we can project, right, based on the current consolidation phase. Right. One of those pretty strong uptrending stocks that's happened since end of last year. It is still undergoing some consolidation, but at least as it consolidates, we have found a higher support that seems to be still holding. In fact, I think the support has gone from 95 to $1 over the past 2 weeks. All right, so that is pretty much the stock, right? The stock that you want to have in your watch list. And maybe, I tell you what, why not just let me pull out, as I mentioned, guys, this stock did not just come into my watch list from my mind, just like planted it, or somebody just, I just woke up thinking about this stock. No, right? It didn't really happen that way. We actually got alerted to this stock. Let's take a look at my 1GT system. So this is the system that I have, called One Good Trend. In short, we call 1GT, right? So 1GT, that's the entire framework strategy behind, and of course, we have a system based on this framework. And you can see for Food Empire, since like last year, we actually got a couple of bullish signals since like 50 cents, got a green arrow up. This is a bullish signal, we went up, got an exit, another bullish signal right over here in January, beginning of the year. We went up from like 65 all the way, consolidate, and a couple of bullish signals. Look at this right here, right? So yeah, and recently, just last week on the 19th of June. So yeah, we got an exit, started to see a bit of weakness, but just on the 19th of June, which is when I think last week, all right, we got this new bullish signal that just came out, all right, as it started to make its way back. It started to consolidate, as we are seeing right now. So we got this new recent bullish signal that just came out, and there are no exits yet. All right, there are no exits yet. So as I say, right, this 110, this 110 is pretty key. If we break the 110 level, all right, we break the 110 resistance level, I can say that this bullish signal can start to play out like, look at this right here. It just went all the way up. It went all the way up. It can really start to play out after breaking 110. I'm not saying that it will 100% happen, but if we do break the 110, if we do see some, pretty good bullish actions above 110, we can see this bullish signal pushing, in terms of it playing out for prices to push higher to 120, 130, and then of course we see an exit like what we see like over here, an exit, or over here, that can also guide us to exit as well, to take some profit as well. Does it make sense? All right, so that is for Food Empire. I just want to share with you guys, why it was even in my watch list, since last year. All right, based on this system. So as I say, guys, I don't have time to cover like the system and the whole entire strategy. If you want to find a bit more on the system, the strategy, and the whole framework, attend one of those free webinars. It's not ready yet, guys, but we're looking to plan some of those webinars in the future to share a bit more. And if you're keen to find out more, attend one of free webinars. Make sure you're on my email list. Make sure you're a client of mine in Philip Securities to get some of my ideas. And of course, we alert you when there are any webinars as well. Or you can download my free trend trading report just to be on my email list. For those of you who have not really joined us before, you're new, you've not seen me before, be on my email list. Just download my free trend trading report to learn a bit more on the strategy and all that. All right, so that is pretty much that stock that I would like to share with you guys, called Food Empire. All right, so that's it, guys. We have gone on for like more than 1.5 hours. All right, and I believe that my job is done for the day. All right, how many of you have found, have learned something, right? Have learned something in this very session? Just type thanks in the chat. All right, so I can acknowledge all of you for being here all the way to the end. And I hope that, yeah, I mean, we have covered all the stocks that you like as well. Type a 10 in the chat if you're still here so that I can acknowledge all of you. And for those of you who have just joined us halfway, pretty much what we have covered, you can come and look at the Facebook page. Replay will be ready by tomorrow. You can just go to my Facebook page. But essentially, we have done a quick market outlook on the STI, the S&P 500 index, as to how it is a little bit different on the key levels you want to take note of. We talk about some of the factors affecting the market at the beginning. And we covered, all right, after doing a live poll of the top stocks that you guys want, all right? And that would be number 1, we have like Samudra Shipping, we have Wilmar, Rex International, number 4, we have VBS, number 5, Keppel Corp, number 6, Sembcorp Industry, number 7, SIA, number 8, we have UOB, number 9, we have Citrum. So these are pretty much the 9 stocks that you guys are asking about. I've covered them, and I hope that you guys have taken away something in this very Facebook live session. So thank you very much, guys, for being here. All right, appreciate your time. We have a Doris 10, Kahin 10. Awesome. Thank you so much, Maria. Good to see you guys here, and I hope you have taken away something. I believe my job is done for the day, and thank you so much, guys. I look forward to see you in the next Facebook live session. All right, so come on board as a client of mine in Philip. If you're not yet one, if you are, I really appreciate your support and my team. Hopefully they're serving you well as well. Any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. If you're not yet a client, reach out to us as well. All right, come on board, and that's where you get some of our ideas and private trainings much faster. All right, thank you, Iris. Thanks for letting me share your value. Take care as your coffee. Thank you so much. Yeah, it seems like a bit of cough. All right, hopefully I get a little bit better. All right, thank you so much, Iris. I really appreciate that. All right, thank you so much. All right, have a good good evening. I'll see you in the next Facebook live session. Joe here signing off. Take care. Bye. Bye-bye.